I'm just going to say, if my friends cannot hype me or cannot be happy for me or cannot encourage me, like Serenity's friend, Deb, Zeta, Sydney, Courtney, then I don't want any friends. I would rather be friendless. Hi there. Thanks for stopping by. Welcome to my channel. It's your girl Valerie again. If you're new to my channel, please don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Um, and turn on the notification bell for when I upload new videos. In this episode, I'll be reviewing Love Island USA, um, season 4, episode 6. I'm sorry, I'm still running behind on my reviews just because of work. Um, this episode was quite interesting, really. I found it interesting and I found it great. I know someone was put off the island, which is sad, but hey, it is what it is. So I'll review the couples and we'll see how we go. So I'll start off with Deb and Jesse. Obviously, after Valerie had the conversation with Jesse, she then goes to Deb to sort of explain what happened with Jesse. And I think her intention for doing that was she thought they would be on the same page, that they would both dump Jesse, which meant Jesse would be with no one. But instead, Deb, as I said before, always liked Jesse, in my opinion. And so this was just an opportunity for her to sort of make up with Jesse and for Jesse to make amends. And so Deb went up, had a conversation with Jesse. They made up, obviously because they managed to get over the speed hump, and so they then decided. Jesse really grafted. He really put in the work, and he really made sure he reassured Deb. He told her what she wanted to hear. He made sure that they I think his concern was the fact that if he didn't make up with Deb, he'd be stuck. And because Valerie wasn't going to take him back, so he told Deb everything she wanted to hear. And that way, if there was to be a recoupling, she would say yes to him. That's just my opinion. Recoupling, as expected, Jesse chose Deb, so there was nothing new about that. I don't know. I really like Deb, so I hope he is. I hope if nothing else, just he is serious about what he said, and that he will actually put in the work and try and create a connection with her. And then off we go on to Zita and Timmy. I'm sorry, but they are my favorite couple. They are my favorite couple, not just because of their connection, but the fact that the way they are cheering for other couples is just amazing. The way like the way Zita was trying to encourage Jesse and Deb to go back together, the way Timmy was doing the same. I loved it. And in this episode, I loved the way that they were sort of hyping Serenity. I think because they knew that she was concerned that um, she might not have been able to turn Tyler's head. So I liked how, you know, Zita couldn't hide her joy. She seemed more excited about what was happening for Serenity than even Serenity herself, because when Serenity got the text message, she celebrated with her. She encouraged her when she went on out on her date with Tyler. She celebrated. You could see she was trying to hide her joy at the end when Tyler chose Serenity, but she was so excited, which I think everybody needs a friend like that. And on his part as well, Timmy was like that. Um, I think, as I said before, they are the couple. Timmy and Zita are the couple with the strongest connection. I like the fact that they're just Timmy on his part is just very mellow, just mellow. He's a mellow and an easygoing guy, and because Zita can be a bit out there, he sort of I think is the calm that she needs. So I really like them, and I like how they're progressing slowly, and hopefully they'll continue to be a couple and will live the islands together. From there, we go on to Felipe and Courtney. Felipe and Courtney, it was to be expected, really. It was to be expected. Um, I think they've been making out all along. They have been sort of having conversations where they've told each other that they do fancy one another. I didn't really see this in this episode, so I really don't have much to say. But as a coupling, it was expected that he was going to choose her. I don't think he was going to choose anybody else. It was expected that he was going to choose her. So I wasn't surprised when he chose her. And so I hope they continue to grow their bond, and I hope, I wish them all the best and all the success in the world. We'll see how that goes. And then with Sydney, Isaiah, Andy, and Maddie, it's really sad, really. It's really sad. I think I sort of understand where, because all of a sudden I started seeing, you were saying, Sydney having these conversations with Andy, and Andy suddenly seemed interested in Sydney, and maybe I missed something, maybe it's just me, maybe I missed something, but I didn't get where that relationship started from. I just was surprised to suddenly find it there, and so I I don't know. I don't know. I think it was a blind side, yes, for Isaiah and Maddie, because at recoupling, Andy chose Sydney. And the interesting thing is, he went to before he chose Sydney, he went to get advice from Felipe and Jesse, of all people. Those are the people he went to speak to. I think that was producer motivated. So he had a conversation with them where he wanted their advice on how they went about sort of with recoupling, because I understand what he said, that Felipe was in a friendship couple with Serenity, but I didn't get why he felt Jesse was a good idea to get any advice from, given the mess Jesse was just in just a few moments ago. But then, hey, that's just me. And then they did have conversations. Sydney and Andy, they said they were very comfortable around each other. And I didn't like the fact. I think if you like someone and if you're trying to create an impression, there's no need to talk down the person you don't like. So I didn't like the fact that Andy sort of talked down um Maddie, and saying, "Oh, she's very, she's very sort of regimented, or so very stiff. It's not spontaneous." So I really don't know what to do, which I personally didn't like. I didn't like that bit. I'm sorry, I didn't like that bit. I think he's a better man than that. He should have tried better. But hey, that's just me. Um, and then with um with Isaiah, I think Isaiah was thrown off. Isaiah and Maddie. Maddie, you could tell she was heartbroken, and I think she was happy that at least Isaiah saved her. But I think, if nothing else, Andy should have gone up to Isaiah and just told him. I understand where Isaiah was coming from, when he said, good people get always, get taken advantage of. But I still think, yes, he was right to feel that way, but I don't think this is where maturity comes in. I don't think he should have said it out loud. I think if he thought about it, that's not the things that he should have been saying, unless he was sort of implying that, Maddie's a great girl and it's sad that this is how things have turned out. But anyway, he's willing to try and explore a connection. I just found that whole bit sort of uncomfortable. Or it's just me. Maybe I'm a bit too sensitive, but I just found it uncomfortable. I think he could have handled it better, because it's sort of everybody was uncomfortable as soon as Andy called Sydney, and you could tell they didn't clap as they normally do, because they didn't know whether to clap or whether to just sit there and just look, or they were left in a very uncomfortable position, which I wouldn't want to be, really. And so I was actually surprised that Isaiah chose Maddie. I would have thought he would have chose Valerie, but I think he thought Valerie was Tyler was going to choose Valerie. So I think maybe that's why he chose Maddie, because I never saw him at any point sort of take Maddie aside and have a conversation with her. So I was pleasantly surprised when he did that. But then part of me thought maybe he did it because, of how Andy had treated her. So he felt sorry and just decided to save her. That way she didn't go home. Anyway, that's them. And then with the last pairing. Valerie, sadly, I think she put off a lot of the guys with the way she responded to the Jesse incident. I think Jesse was wrong for how he played the girls, but I think Valerie herself as well could have handled the situation a bit better. This is why I was saying maybe up to she should have gone up to Jesse with um Deb. That way it didn't seem combative, because after she had that conversation with Jesse, she then went and told Tyler what happened with Jesse and how she responded to that situation, which would put anybody off, because then you're starting to ask yourself, okay, if that's the way she would behave towards this guy, how will she behave towards me? And I don't know whether that played a part in Jesse's decision or whatever. Jesse sorry, oh, played a part in Tyler's decision. Tyler, on his part, had the opportunity to go on a date. He was asked to take two girls with him, so he chose to go with Serenity. I thought they were always going. He was going to choose Serenity anyway because they're very close. Every day before bed, she would hug him, or they would hug each other, and then every morning they would hug, and their conversations seemed to flow naturally. And I think this is why he said, she surprised him. So on his date, he first chose Valerie. She was excited. And you could tell Serenity was broken because she expected, I think, to be one of the people he chose. And then, so just Tyler and um, Valerie went on a date. I didn't quite get, I think Valerie's a stunning girl. And I think that's one of the things that sort of takes that sort of is the first feature that the guys look at. And so she said they connected mentally. Yeah, they did, but I think the more Tyler reflected on the Jesse incident and his conversations with um Valerie, I think this is why I think it was more sexual. Yes, they might have connected mentally, but I think it was more of a sexual attraction, and I think this is not what Tyler was looking for. And it shows a level of maturity because I was concerned that he might, because of his age, he might not be the best candidate to come in, just because, as I said before, I really, really like um, Serenity, and I really wanted to stay. So Serenity, you could tell, was heartbroken when he chose Valerie to go on first date, and then when Valerie came back, she was busy talking about her date. And I think a red flag for Valerie should have been when she said, well, she said it out loud, but I think when it happened, she should have questioned why. Because she said, oh, they are, everybody asked, so did you make out? And she went, no. He said, an amazing kisser, but he didn't go in for a kiss. And I would have kissed him if he had kissed me back. And it's like, why would someone praise your kissing and not kiss you unless they are not interested in you romantically? I don't know. Anyway, I don't know. So then during that conversation, the issue was just cut short by Serenity received a text message, which I liked the celebration, as you can see in the clip that I posted. I liked how Serenity and Zeta celebrated the message. And I think there's a cuteness. There's a cuteness. I have to say, there is a cuteness. There's a cuteness, a goofiness, a friendliness. I don't even know a lot of things between Tyler and sort of Serenity, which I understand why he chose her, and I think he was pleasantly surprised because he actually said to her, "I'm happy that you came and sort of sat and had a conversation with me because I don't think he expected her to be the person that she is, or he expected her to, as in her characteristic traits or her conversational skills and stuff. And so I think he was pleasantly surprised. And when I liked everything he said about her, I think his was one of the best. The way he described her and the way she makes him feel, and how he can be himself around Serenity, and she allows him to open up parts of himself that he normally keeps hidden from other people. Oh, I loved all that. You can tell I'm a hopeless romantic. I was eating all that. I hope he's not just saying it just for the sake of saying it, and I hope he actually means it. So now I'll be waiting to see what happens. But I really liked them. Uh, Zeta, oh my God, I love Zeta. Team Zeta and Timmy. The way she felt sorry for Valerie, that Valerie was going to be dumped from the villa, but her excitement, she couldn't contain her excitement when Timmy picked Serenity, because I think Valerie thought she was a shoe in. I think she thought it was a done deal that Tyler was going to pick her, and was surprised when Tyler picked Serenity. And I think everybody else was surprised, but they were happy surprised, not like sad surprised. They were happy surprised because I think Serenity gets along with a lot of people, and they really wanted her to stay as well. Anyway, I digress. You can tell I'm a Team Serenity fan. Now I'm a Team Serenity, Tyler, and Zeta and Timmy. I don't know. I'll see the rest as we go along. Oh, and them. I love them. Anyway, thanks guys for watching. Please don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Bye everyone.